there, Wildcats, and welcome to our one-stop shop for everything happening at Lincoln Middle School. You've officially tuned in to episode 3 of the Lincoln WildCAST. Get ready to pounce on the latest headlines from our news desk because we are here to keep you in the know. But that's not all. We've got something for everyone in the pack. In today's show, we'll be serving up more good vibes with our mental wellness segment, Positive Vibes. Get a laugh on these slappers and hear the latest middle school trends on what's trending. We'll also hear the second installment of our student-created Whodunit mystery, the Crimson Paw, and we will answer more questions in the school community Q&A. Finally, we'll hear from this week's special guest, LMS Assistant Principal, Mr. Donato. From the roar of the crowd at the game to the quiet of the library, we're here to find you stories that matter most. So let's get this show on the road by kicking it over to What's Trending team to tell you this week's trend.
Welcome back, everyone, to What's Trending. We'll be talking about trends, slang, and so much more.
This is Trending Instruments, the guitar, piano, and ukulele, driven by their versatility and accessibility for learning online and at home. Keyboards are also popular for their portability and ability to produce various sounds. With string instrument, violin, and electric guitars remain popular, while the saxophone is widely favored wind instrument.
Let's pass it to Letty to hear about more popular slang and trends.
Hey everyone, let's talk about drip. Drip is something people use to tell someone their style is looking good or amazing. Major trends across social media is technology, fashion, business, and culture. Sustainability and seamless integration of digital and physical experiences have been trending this year. Also, how tall are you guys?
6'7".
I'm about 6'7".
Thanks for joining us today. We hope to see you next time on What's Trending.
Next, let's go over to the Positive Vibes crew for our mental wellness tips.
Hello, and welcome back to Positive Vibes. Today we're talking to Miss Merrill. What tips do you have for us today?
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for this mindful moment. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about your well-being. So I just want you to imagine for a moment that your well-being is actually a technological device. So much like your cell phone, iPad, or computer. So it's pretty similar because well-being gets used all throughout the day, much like our devices. And we use our well-being for pretty much everything. We use it to solve challenges like math problems and even have fun with our friends and family. So it makes sense that it can get drained, run slow, or even get damaged. So then how do we care for our well-being? Well, thinking back to your devices, cell phones need charging. Well, your brain does too. Sleep is your charger. So without it, your battery runs out very fast. So when you have too many apps open on your iPad or tabs on your computer, it starts to run slow. So similarly, your stress, homework, drama, those are like tabs and apps draining your brain. So taking a break, breathing, and talking it out helps you close some of those apps and tabs. And just like your phones need updates, your brain does too. So moving your body, eating good snacks, and hanging out with your positive friends, those all give your brain upgrades and an energy boost. And if your phone glitches, you don't just ignore it. Well, okay, maybe you do, but there comes a time when the glitch gets so annoying that you finally ask for help. And I'm just gonna ask you, don't wait for a glitch in your well-being. If you're having a rough day, it's okay to talk to a friend, a teacher, or come and find Mr. Hawk or me in the main office. We're here for you. So today, remember to take breaths, take breaks, and lean on people you trust, because a healthy well-being starts with small, mindful steps.
Thanks, Miss Merrill. That's all for this week's Positive Vibes. Thanks for listening.
Up next, let's check in our mystery segment, the Crimson Paw. Welcome back to the second episode of the Crimson Paw. On last week's episode, Darian went missing and it's our job to find him.
Let's go.
Well, where'd he go?
Wasn't he supposed to go to the bathroom with Michael? Yeah, he was. Neither of them are here.
I'm not sure where he's at.
We need to go find them. Let's go check the bathroom first.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, come on.
As Bianca, Bonnie, and Brittany all went to check the bathroom, they realized it was all dark. It wasn't apparent where anything was. They heard footsteps. In the direction of the footsteps was a light.
What is that?
What? That light down there?
Yeah, what is that?
It looks like a flashlight of some kind. We should probably go follow it.
I don't know if we should do that.
Yeah, what if it's the source of that loud sound from earlier? Yeah, maybe. But, ever think of this? What if they're Michael and Darian?
Yeah, Bonnie's right. We need to check that out.
Okay, I'm trusting you guys.
Me too. I guess we should go check it out.
They walked over to the light. At the center of the room, like glass everywhere.
Well, no wonder we heard glass.
Yeah, let's go. We have to find Michael and Darian.
Bonnie, it's your idea. You lead the way.
Okay, but Bianca also wanted to do it, and so did you, Brittany. Oh well, let's go.
As they walked closer to the light, they see a familiar face.
Michael? Up next, let's hear what's going on in our school community segment with another student panel Q&A.
Hi, Wildcats, and welcome back to the school community segment. Today we'll be answering more questions for the third week. Alyssa, what's our first question?
What's a goal you have for this year?
One of my main goals would be to get selected for the youth and government trip and make all-state band.
I have multiple different things I want to do this year. I want to go to youth and government, make all county band, and finish this year with straight A's.
Just to get good grades.
My goal for this year would have to be having good grades.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh, that's a hard question. I'm caught in between two, either the original Scream or Terrifier 2.
I'm not sure. I have multiple different favorite movies. Probably my favorite kinds of movies are horror. I just don't have a single favorite.
The Breakfast Club.
I don't really have a favorite movie, but I really like just horror movies and like crimes and mystery.
What's your favorite subject?
Oh, probably either social studies or reading.
Mine probably has to be either science or West Virginia studies.
It would either have to be math or English.
West Virginia studies. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Either a criminal defense lawyer or a criminologist.
I want to be a chemical engineer.
A nurse practitioner.
I've been thinking about it for a while, but the Air Force.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Well, I have no clue. Probably being able to read people's minds or something like that.
I would either do super speed or strength.
I have to agree with him.
I would have to say mind reading. Okay, this is the last question. What do you enjoy during your free time?
Probably talking to my friends, volleyball or pickleball.
I'd probably have to say playing video games, talking with friends, or just kind of doing random stuff around my house.
Hanging out with friends or sleeping.
I like to either draw or listen to music for my free time or talk to friends.
All right, that's all the time we have for this week's Q&A. Don't forget, if you have a question that you would like answered in our school community segment, you can drop it off in the band room. We'll be back next time with more answers and even more fun.
Next, we are going to kick it over to our WildCast interview team with special guest, LMS Assistant Principal, Mr. Donato.
Welcome to the Lincoln WildCAST guest interview. We would love to introduce our special guest today, our Assistant Principal, Mr. Donato.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Let's start this interview. Frankie, what's our first question?
What did you do before becoming the assistant principal here?
Well, before I became an assistant principal here, I was an assistant principal at Buchanan Upshur High School for a couple of years. And before that, I taught health and physical education at schools all over Upshur and Harrison County.
That's amazing. Kaylin, what's question 2?
We know you've only been here for about a year, but what's your favorite thing about working at LMS?
The first thing I noticed when I started working here was just the culture and the people. It was very friendly, very welcoming. I felt like after the first couple of weeks I worked here that I worked here for 20 years. it was definitely a different experience for me coming to this school because I just felt that, it was welcoming, it was friendly, the staff, the students, the community, very supportive of the school, very supportive of education and the things that the school's trying to do here and what it's trying to create. And it's just a different vibe and a different experience. That's what I tell my friends all the time when they work here. It's like you don't know what it's like to be in Lincoln Middle until you step foot in the building and meet the people. And it's really something special. And I'm very proud to be a part of that.
That's great. Alyssa, what's question number 3?
What do you enjoy doing in your free time, Mr. Donato?
Well, that's kind of ironic because free time doesn't really exist in the Donato household. I'm married and have 2 awesome sons that are very highly involved in a lot of things. My oldest plays travel soccer and is involved in a lot of things in his school. My youngest just started playing rec soccer this fall. My wife has a great career and is busy a lot all the time. So free time doesn't really exist for me much anymore. So weekends are typically spent on the road, traveling somewhere for a tournament or something along those lines that I'm taking my sons to. But on the odd experience, I do get a little bit of free time. For years, golf was my hobby of choice for a long time. And of course, being in health and physical education, I was very much into exercise and strength training, so I still stay pretty active. I like to, run, walk, and move. I weight train, in the gym a few days a week when I can. But the biggest hobby I picked up a couple years ago was pickleball, and I've really become a big fan of that. So I'm still, hopefully, once a week I try to get out and go play with some local people where I live, but that time has dwindled here recently, and I'm not happy about that. So, because I've really enjoyed playing. So, but that's been my hobby of choice so far, more recently.
Wow, that's good to know. Question 4, Kaylin.
Off-topic question, but the LMS soccer team plays Buchanan Upshur on September 29th. Our inside sources tell us that you used to be a high school soccer coach at Buchanan. The people want to know, Mr. Donato, who are you pulling for on the 29th?
Yeah, see, when you asked me what I did before I came here, I left the coaching part out of it just to avoid these kind of awkward questions like that. But yeah, I was before I took an administrative job, and even a short time while I did, I coached soccer for about 20 years. So most of my time, of course, all of it there in Upshur County at different levels. But I coached a year at the middle school, but most of my time was there at the high school. And yeah, honestly, it's an easy answer for me. Wildcats all the way. But, if it ends in a tie, I won't be too heartbroken about that either. I'm just hoping the team progresses along by then and give up a good battle there. So, look, it's a match I'm looking forward to seeing. I really am.
Great. Renee, question number 5.
Lastly, what made you become an assistant principal?
Well, I enjoyed my time in the classroom. Like I mentioned before, I taught health and physical education. In the last few years I taught, I was teaching upper level classes in health. I was actually an adjunct professor at Pierpont and teaching classes there. And my phys ed career had led me to eventually working in advanced weight training in those classes at the school I was working at. So I really enjoyed that, but I knew I was at a point in my career I was ready for a change. As I mentioned earlier with the way my life is and how crazy it is, I'm just used to things being hectic and all over the place. And the thing about I love this job the most is just, honestly, it's the inconsistency. You never know what the day is going to bring you. You're going to come in with a plan and an idea of, I'm going to get A, B, and C done today, and then everything else is going to get thrown at you. And to most people, that sounds crazy and hectic, and they want to have their day planned, but it's not me. I don't like that. To expect the unexpected. I like the variable change that happens in the job all the time. Again, and you just never know what the day is going to bring you. And that actually gets me excited every day. In the classroom, you can set routines and have those expectations. And that's well and good and has its place for it. But I was at a point where I was ready for something a little different. And an administration career definitely gives you something that's a little different because your day is unpredictable. And that's honestly what I really like about it the most.
We thank you for your time and hope to speak with you again soon. Come back next week, Wildcats, for another amazing episode of the Lincoln WildCAST.
Finally, let's get our WildCast news team to wrap up our show.
Welcome, WildCast, to your daily guide through the jungle we call Lincoln Middle School. In a world full of noise, we're here to bring you the stories that matter. You're listening to your official dispatch, the Lincoln WildCast News. Here are your announcements.
Intramural started last week, but remember,
They are always dependent on iReady and class-wide behavior at lunch. Be good so we can keep going the intramurals.
The LMS show choir is selling birthday celebration treats.
What's that about?
You can get a soda and birthday treat delivered to you at school by the show choir on your birthday.
Awesome. How do I sign up?
The forms were handed out a couple of weeks ago during AA. Forms were due last Friday, but they may be able to take them today or tomorrow if you hurry.
In other news, messenger bags and backpacks are still not allowed to be carried to classes.
All students should now have their locker combinations down and be using their lockers to store items.
Students, please remember that this Friday, September 19th, is an early dismissal day.
That is it for our announcements. Now let's pass it over to sports. Welcome to your LMS News Sport Recap. Let's hear how your Wildcats have been doing this week.
Great job to the cross-country teams for their performance this past Saturday at the No Excuses Invitational in Braxton County.
Our football team took on Philippi last week, Wednesday. They fought hard but fell by a score of 34-16.
Volleyball played Robert Bland on Monday and Elkins on Tuesday. They came up just a bit short in both games. Volleyball also played Notre Dame on Thursday and came away with the win.
Girls and boys soccer played against Bridgeport on Monday. The boys lost by a score of 8-0, and the girls lost by a score of 5-1. Both soccer teams then took on Elkins on Wednesday, but kept the game much closer. Boys fell by a score of 4-0, and the girls lost in a heartbreaker by one goal, 2-1.
Coming up this week, our cross-country team travels to Doddridge County on Wednesday and Taylor County on Saturday. Our football team travels to North Marion on September 17th to take on the Husky Pups. Volleyball plays on Monday and Wednesday against Bellington and Philippi. Lastly, our soccer teams play at Taylor County on Monday and at Liberty Middle on Wednesday. That's all for sports this week. Go Wildcats!
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. It's everyone's favorite segment. Here's What's for Lunch. On Monday, September 15th, we're having meatloaf, scalloped potatoes, Cook's Choice veggie, roll, and fruit. On Tuesday, September 16th, we're having chicken sandwiches, tater tots, veggies, slushies, and fruit. On Wednesday, September 17th, we're having pasta with meat sauce using West Virginia beef and marinara, salad, green beans, breadsticks, and fruit. On Thursday, September 18th, we're having chicken nuggets, mashed potatoes, roll, and sliced fruit. Finally, on Friday, September 19th, we're having Cook's Choice. That's what's for lunch. As always, thank you for our wonderful cooks who keep us fed, ready to take on the day. Thanks for joining us on the Lincoln WildCAST News. And thanks for listening. Stay wild, and we'll see you next time on the Lincoln WildCAST.